Xavier, Dodgers, they're up 2-0 in this NLCS right now. I mean, they got the big bats like Mookie Betts, Ohtani. Those guys aren't even delivering. The bottom of the order getting it done. How did their offense lead the way in this one?
Well, we've said it from day one before the season even started. They're the deepest lineup in Major League Baseball. And what they did today was just a knack for really good at-bats, seeing the ball deep, allowing themselves not to be overly aggressive. The home run ball was big today, and it started with Teoscar Hernandez. What I think I loved most was him getting to a two-strike count. Both home runs were a full count, by the way. Him getting to a two-strike count, being able to drive something, use the big part of the field. The same thing goes for Max Muncy, another full count, 2 strikes, still a good approach going right through the middle of the field. And to me, it's their ability to not just count on guys like Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, and same thing with Mookie Betts, right? The bottom part of their lineup, 6 through 9, 7 for 14 today.
That's big time. To get those types of runs from that part of the order is what carries, to your point, the depth of this lineup. Now, when it comes to the pitching, Yoshinobu Yamamoto gets ambushed on that first pitch and then immediately settles right on in.
Yeah.
What can be said about the mental fortitude that it takes to kind of lock into that degree?
And we've seen that from him. Is he's got the ability to focus no matter what happens, right? You combat a big swing by going out there and getting ground balls. To me, that was the focus for him today. 15 ground ball outs, 3 fly outs. So the ability to keep the ball on the ground, a lot of weak contact, depending upon the infield defense to do work and not feel like you had to go out there and strike everybody out. Yesterday, the strikeouts came from Blake Snell. Yamamoto didn't need all the strikeouts today. He used the defense, but still
unbelievable. So the Dodgers offense is rolling. The Dodgers pitching staff is rolling. Yeah. The Brewers, they're now down 2-0. That's not good. They're heading to LA now, down 2-0. That's even worse. What do the Brewers need to do to flip this series?
Man, they have to have some better at-bats from the middle of their order. Bryce Terang, Christian Yelich, Contreras, Sal Frelick, those guys in the middle have to do a better job of getting on base. You saw Yamamoto pound the bottom part of the zone with the sinker, and they hit a lot of ground balls. They've got to find a way to catch the ball out in front, get some balls in the air, and just get on base in general. Snell and Yamamoto did a great job of limiting the walks, but you can expect Glass now to maybe not have the same control if he's going game 3. They've got to get into deeper counts, see the baseball a little bit deeper, see if they can get on base via the walk, but also putting the ball in play because they have struck out a lot the past couple of days.
And as we pivot back to LA, you now have a refreshed bullpen to the maximum. Like, what does that do for the Dodgers in being able to shut the door effectively going back home?
It gives them all the weapons that they need, right? All throughout this year, we've talked about some of those weaknesses that they've had. At some points, it's been the bullpen. At some points, it's been the health of starting pitching. Maybe the offense not being what we've expected to be. All those things have happened now, come together at once, and they really do look unbeatable right now at this point. I don't know what's going to stop them besides some brown sugar addition. I don't know. I don't know what's going to stop them.
Yeah, it looks real dicey for those Brew Crew boys headed back out there to L.A. Regardless, we will have much more of your post-game coverage right here on SportsCenter.
They only had 2 hits outside of Jackson Churrio's leadoff home run. That's one more hit than they had in game 1, so there's that. But what do they need to do to get these bats on track?
Well, they have to avoid all these aces, which seems to be impossible because the Dodgers just have a deck of cards that are full of aces. They weren't healthy a lot of the year, but now they put it together at the right time. And Blake Snell was unbelievable last night. And Yamamoto, you talk about command and precision. He uses all his pitches and he can locate it in any quadrant of the strike zone and outside the strike zone if necessary. And the Brewers just did not have an answer. They always seem to be a couple of pitches behind because of how quickly Yamamoto and the Dodgers adjusted within each at-bat. Just an incredible performance by Yamamoto.
And they haven't even faced Glass now, and then maybe Ohtani. I mean, it's just a murderer's row of pitchers there. Now, meanwhile, the Dodgers,
exactly,
taking the 2-0 series lead, had 5 different Dodgers with an RBI. The bottom of the order, as Xavier Scruggs said earlier, was 7 for 14. What is the cheat code they've found that is allowing them to have their way with Brewers pitching?
It really does. There's no break in this Dodgers lineup. And you talk about someone like Kike Hernandez, who's like a legend in the postseason. There's no break because they also have experience. So they know exactly what the plan is. They know how to execute. And even if they're not getting their hits, they're productive outs. And when you're at the bottom of the order at the Dodgers, you're setting the table for Shohei Ohtani. You're setting the table for Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. So if you can get on any way necessary or move a runner over just 90 feet without a hit, you are very much a productive part of this Dodger offense. So they can beat you a lot of ways: power, adjustment, speed, putting the ball in play, and they did that tonight.
Game 2 of the NLCS underway. The Brewers trying to level the series, but the Dodgers looking to crash the beer party in Milwaukee. Brewers down 0-2. Dodgers looking to take a 2-0 series lead back to LA after Blake Snell's Game 1 gym. Dodgers going with Yoshinobu Yamamoto for Game 2. His lone career start against the Brewers earlier this year was also his shortest, just 2/3 of an innings pitched. But first pitch for Yamamoto looked brutal. Brutal.
That's when I thought they were going to come in and take over this game, but they obviously didn't. So
Yeah.
I had it wrong.
Not quite a second career postseason leadoff home run for Churio. Brewers only had one as a franchise before him. So top second, Freddie Peralta taking the mound for the Brewers, and Teoscar Hernandez responds. Takes Peralta deep to left for a solo home run, his 4th of the postseason.
Mama, there go that man again.
He was just 1-12 in his previous 3 games, by the way. All right, top 6 now. Max Muncy responds, launches this one deep to center over the reach of a heaping South Frelick. Solo home run off Peralta. Dodgers up 3-1. His 1st of the postseason, and it's a historical one. 14th career postseason homer. So back to Yamamoto, guys, because he was rolling, not allowing a runner to reach second since Churio's home run in the first, striking out 5 batters through 6 innings, only 76 pitches, with no plans for LA to take him out in the 7th. Dodgers trying to add more insurance runs from him. In top 7, Shohei Ohtani rips this past the reach of Freddie Freeman at first, and into right. Kike Hernandez comes in to score. Dodgers up 4-1. There it goes.
They got to figure out a way to get him going.
Yeah.
He's so clutch for this team. I know they might advance here, but in the next series, it might be a little bit different.
Yes, snapped an 0-for-15 hitless streak, by the way. Yamamoto back out there in the 7th, guys. None on, 2 outs, and he gets Jake Bauers to ground this to Tommy Edman, fires to first, and that's going to end the inning. Yamamoto, 8 straight retired.
I'm so happy I'm sitting here talking to you guys not to face that right now. Having flashbacks.
Bottom of the 8th, Yamamoto gets Terrain to ground this right to Edman, fires the first to end the inning. His 14th batter retired by ground out. Another 1-2-3 inning on just 8 pitches, guys. So Brewers down to their final strike. Yamamoto strikes out Andrew Von Sween, and that's going to do it. Yamamoto goes the distance. His first start against the Brewers, his shortest outing. But his second start, his longest, as the Dodgers go on to win 5-1. Yamamoto's night. 9 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned, 7 Ks, 111 pitches. Dodgers' first complete game in a postseason since 2004. This is now the second time in MLB history that both road teams have now taken a 2-0 lead in the LCS. Only 5 teams have ever erased a 2-0 deficit in the LCS. Now 2 teams have to do it starting on the road. Meanwhile, the Brewers, 5 runs across their last 4 games. Not going to be quite enough to get it done. They're going to need some more, as Game 3 is on Thursday in LA.
Both those pitchers were as dominant as 2 pitchers have been. We chased way more than we've chased all year. We've been the best in baseball at not chasing. These pitchers brought out the worst in us. Yeah, if I would have told you that the Dodgers are going to score 7 runs in 2 games, and what was the outcome in the first 2 games, I'd say there's a chance we won one of them for sure.
The last time he had pitched here, he didn't make it out of the first inning. Then tonight, first pitch, homer, and it didn't seem like it seemed to bother him at all. Just how is he different now than maybe when he was here, even in the summer?
I think in totality, the season was fantastic. Obviously, with the postseason, the focus is heightened. It's just, you give up the first pitch of the game, you give up a homer, and then you go out there and then you throw a complete game. Was in complete command the entire night. And so I can't really speak to that outing, but, in the regular season, there's going to be good ones, there's going to be bad ones. But right now, like I've said, our entire team is playing the best baseball we've played all year. But I think this year, he's got true confidence from me that third time through at pitch 90, he feels that he's the best option. And so I think for me, that just gives me that confidence.
What a night for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. We talked about his very first outing. I mean, it was the shortest, and now This one against the Brewers, his longest. He became the 4th Dodgers pitcher to throw a complete game in LCS history and the first Japanese pitcher to throw a complete game in postseason history. And now, Yamamoto and the Dodgers just 2 wins away from returning back to the Fall Classic. And we have a packed house as we are now joined by former Red Sox third baseman Will Middlebrooks, and we are in studio with former first-round pick Lewis Brinson and CBS Sports national baseball writer Julian McWilliams as the defending champs now up 2-0 against the best record in baseball in the championship series after a suffocating performance by the Dodgers. And that is fresh off an incredible outing that we got to see in Game 1 with Blake Snell. Then Yoshinobu Yamamoto gets that nod for Game 2. Well, if you recall, Yamamoto did not pitch great against the Phillies, but ended up putting on a masterclass in this game against the Brewers. Is this more of a testament to Snell and Yamamoto's dominance, or were the Brewers just pressing here?
Well, I mean, you can even go back to where you said he didn't pitch well against the Phillies, but you go back to July, he had one of his worst outings, if not his worst outing of his career against this Milwaukee team. He gave up 5 runs. He only got out 2 guys, didn't make it out of the first inning. So this is a little bit of a revenge tour for him here. But I mean, were the Brewers pressing? Sure. We can talk about playoff experience and star power and this and that, which totally matters. But this was all about Yamamoto. I mean, he was just dialed. He was landing his off speed. The fastball, the split, and the cutter were all up 1.5 miles per hour. He rarely threw the same pitch back to back, so he was mixing speeds and shapes, and it just looked like uncomfortable at bats. There was 15 whiffs, and 8 of them were on that splitter. It was just on tonight.
Yeah, I want to dive more into that splitter, Lewis, because we were talking about that while we were watching this game in the green room. Why was it so effective?
Well, he played it off his fastball very, very well today, and it was just you go back to the Philly series, he couldn't land it. He really didn't have a feel for his splitter. He went to his fastball, he went to his curveball, which was dominant tonight as well. But tonight, he was like, you know what? I'm going to take a page out of Blake Snell's book from last night. I'm going to go ahead and feed these guys splitters. I'm going to feed these guys off-speed pitches because the Brewers hammer fastballs. And they knew that coming in. The game plan was to not let these Brewers hammer their fastballs like they have been. And he just utilized that splitter to perfection tonight at the bottom of the zone, tailing it off back into the back foot of the righties. Lefties had no chance down and in. He was locating it away, up, down. It was just like, it was something out of Star Wars. I didn't even know. I definitely didn't want to be a Brewers hitter tonight. And it looked like they just had no answers, man. He was locating it very, very well, kept it on the corners very well, and he's just dominant tonight with that pitch.
Had no answers. I don't think Brewers hitters wanted to be Brewers hitters in that outing.
I don't
but
think so.
Julian, if you recall, Brewers crushed the Dodgers in the regular season, and now they won that series, the season series, 6-0 while averaging over 5 runs per game and outscored them 31-16. What's been the reason for just this big flip that we saw from regular season to postseason?
I think it comes down to pitching, right? I think it comes down to starting pitching. You got what, 7 2/3 from Blake Snell or something like that, and then you get a complete game from Yamamoto. These guys are just locked in, and it's something about, I think, said to be about champions and who have been here before, and how you just all of a sudden with the Dodgers, it always seems like you're here, and then they just take off in the game. They have dogs on their team. They have the DNA. And I think that's the difference here, right? I think it just comes down to talent and also just experience as well.
But on the other side, when we look at trying to find a weakness when it comes to this Dodgers team, we focus in on their bullpen. But we all know that they haven't even had to tap into that. We know Tyler Glass now is getting the ball for Game 3. But considering just how their starters have pitched in Games 1 and Game 2, Will, how does Milwaukee get an edge? Is there a way they can find a way to capitalize on the Dodgers here in Game 3?
Well, there's one way not to have to worry about. If you're the Dodgers and you don't have to worry about the bullpen, you just don't ever give them the ball, right? like tonight. I mean, the Dodgers starting pitchers have an ERA of 1.60 in their 8 postseason games, which they need because the bullpen's pitched to about a 5.6, actually almost a 6 now. It went up a little bit yesterday. But look, this thing, we talked about this a little bit before we came on. You guys asked me, is this over? It is over. I think it's going to be a sweep. You got Glass now and you got Ohtani.
Yeah.
And you got to go to the West Coast. And Dodger Stadium is not an easy place to play on the road. That place is going to be rocking. It's going to be a really tough place to play. I think this ends in a sweep.
I think so too at this point. I mean, it comes down to you didn't get one of those 2 games at home. And the split is so important, especially if you're facing a team like that, when you're looking down the gauntlet and you just see, like we'll mention Glasnow and Shohei Ohtani coming up. That's a big deal. And if you're looking at this Milwaukee team, certainly they hit fastball as well. But this is where I agree with the analytic people in that you need some guys that can slug in that lineup. And that seems to be what's missing as well. There's just one of those guys that can capitalize on one of those mistakes. The problem is Snell and the rest of these guys aren't giving you too many mistakes to hit. So this is just a dominant performance all across the board. I don't think this is indicative of anything Milwaukee is necessarily not doing. I think it's just all about the Dodgers in this sense.
For sure. I think the Dodgers have just found their way this postseason, especially with the pitching staff, and definitely the bullpen is definitely shaking hands with the starting pitching staff, just sitting down there eating chips and sunflower seeds tonight. Didn't really have to do a whole lot, but yeah, I mean, you're going into Dodger Stadium. Dodger Stadium is already the 5th deck. I remember playing in Dodger Stadium. As soon as you walk on that field, that 5th deck just intimidates you. I've never played in the postseason there, but I can imagine these Brewers guys going into Dodger Stadium already down 0-2. You're going to Dodger Stadium. You're playing a team that you feel that they're dominating you. The Brewers feel it at this point, and I think tonight you could see some of the swings, and they kind of got away from who they are. The small ball teams, the guys moving guys over, taking the extra base. I mean, they didn't get a guy past first base tonight besides the Cheerio homer. So, I mean, it's not looking good for the Brewers.
Yeah, you were saying something in the green room. You were saying that this doesn't look like the Brewers team that we have seen all season. All. It's like they're not playing like themselves, but you also said this bullpen sitting there eating chips. I think that they owe Yamamoto and Snell maybe a nice steak dinner or something.
Absolutely.
After getting to relax for a little bit. But guys, this Dodgers lineup, I want to pose this on you because we were talking about this and this stat really stood out to me. The bottom of this lineup, obviously we know it's scrappy, and by the time the game was out of reach, Mookie Betts was the only Dodger without a hit on the night. What does that stat say to you?
Oh, I mean, we talk about how deep the lineup is. Their 5 through 9 hitters were 8 for 18 and drove in 4 of their 5 runs. So all of a sudden, no one's having to talk about, oh, Mookie Betts isn't doing his job, or Ohtani's 2 for his last 25 with 12 strikeouts his last 6 postseason. Nobody's talking about that because other guys are carrying the torch. When you can get length out of your lineup like they are with Max Muncy in the 5-hole, you have all these guys, Pajes down in the 9-hole doing damage and getting jobs done. There's just it's relentless and you can't take a breath. And then all of a sudden you get past that 5 through 9 and, oh, by the way, there's Ohtani and there's Betts and there's Freeman and Teoscar. It's just nonstop. They're coming at you.
I mean, don't let Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts and Ohtani. I mean, Ohtani had a big hit tonight, but don't let these boys get hot because the bottom of this order, I've said it the beginning sort of September. They have just the bench. They haven't even really needed to utilize their bench. Their lineup is so deep, and Andy Pajes finally. Good luck, honestly, man. Good luck to the Brewers order and the Brewers team going into LA because these Dodgers haven't even really gotten going yet, in my opinion.
Go back to the inning where they responded with 2 runs, and it just seems like there's these relentless at bats. No, there are these relentless at bats. Look at Kike Hernandez, right? It's 2 outs. He comes through. Says, the inning's not over. And all of a sudden, Pajes gets to hit down the line, makes it 2-1. Those are the type of things that come back to teams. And it's just like, man, they annoy you, right? You're on the mound, you don't know what to do. Then, oh, by the way, they can pop you for a homer like Teoscar Hernandez, Max Muncy. It's just a well-balanced lineup, a versatile lineup. They can do all things, and I think that's what bodes well for this team going to the next series likely.
I want to know what Kike's eating before the playoff. I want to know what he's doing. He got the secret sauce, the secret juice from Space Jam.
Yeah.
At October 1st, I think he's drinking that, and then it just turns into.
It's Mike's special drink.
Exactly.
Yeah, Michael's special juice.
We might have to do some investigative reporting here on CBS Sports HQ. Figure out what's going on over there with the Dodgers. But like you guys mentioned, relentless and a versatile lineup, and that's got them up 2-0 in the series as this heads back to LA. Fellas, as always, thank you so much for that insight. Good stuff there. Well, as we talk about heading back to LA, take a look at the schedule for the NLCS. Well, Game 3 set for Thursday from LA. We know Tyler Glass now getting the ball. That's first pitch at 6:08 p.m. Eastern. Then following up, Shohei Ohtani. The guys are talking about it. You got Snell. You got Yamamoto. Glass now. Ohtani rounded out Game 4. It's a tall hill to climb for the Brewers, but they'll get a chance and a crack at it. Game 3 Thursday.